Hey folks, Plain Jane here. Some quick context before we get started. I quit my job 4 months ago after 2 decades of basically continuous employment. After enjoying this gorgeous summer, I've had some contract opportunities kind of drop in my lap, and I'm trying to decide what that means for me. So, which of course leads to thinking about like my relationship with work and all that stuff. It's very easy to come up with topics when we're talking with our friends and our colleagues about the things that are wrong with work. So this could be managers who don't appreciate us, upper levels who are making very stupid decisions because they don't understand what the market is really like out there. They don't understand what it is to work at the level that we're at or the level that we've previously experienced. The thing is that like work is in some ways, or it can become, a total institution in that we are spending an inordinate amount of time at work. We are spending an inordinate amount of time thinking about work. I mean, most people, especially who are in like professional services space, which is where I came from, take their work home a lot. And it's not just that they like take their work home in terms of they work long hours and they're always working on like the next presentation or the next thing that they're doing. It's also that they take work home because they're thinking about the problems all the way through. When I go on walks, I would be thinking about what's the analysis plan for this next piece of research I'm working on? How can I approach the next conversation I'm having with this particular stakeholder to come to a mutually agreeable position? All those things are like things that I'm constantly doing when I'm working. But the thing is that my brain likes that. My brain likes that it is having these problems to solve. My brain likes the reward of when that call goes well, when that discussion happens, when that presentation hits, when that analysis plan like tweaks to just fall into place. All those things give my brain positive reinforcement. And then when my manager says, "Good job," or I get this plum new assignment and I'm going to be in front of a person with more status or whatever, or even if somebody who reports into me starts talking to me about how I'm the best boss that they have had, or that was the best review and the most helpful review that I've ever had within my career. I'm pretty sure that the research shows that the quickest way to get addicted to something is inconsistent positive reinforcement. So if that isn't work, then I really don't know what is. One of the things that work also gives you is that huge backlog of stuff that you could be doing and things that you could be checking off of the list. And very much like there's a component of things that like you're doing because you think that you should get them done, but there's also just like that constant stuff coming from outside of, and now here's a thing, and here's a thing to prioritize, and here's another thing, and here's another thing, and deliverable. And so there are so many things to check off. I love checklists. You write down the thing and then it's like that sense of accomplishment that you got it done. I got public praise, I got private praise, I got promotions, I got more money in both raises and in bonuses. And it can end up being, again, this vicious cycle of you got praise, but was it as much praise as last time? Was it as much praise as your peer? Are you getting that compensation, So you got a 5% raise this year, but last year you got a 10% raise. So does that mean that they don't appreciate you as much? Yeah, that reinforcement cycle can really become very toxic. Came to the decision that I didn't like the person who I was turning into because the reward system within my workspace was so broken, that it was so connected in with capitalism and power and money and not authentic relationships and not necessarily making real change. So I decided to quit cold turkey, and I decided to get out of the dopamine rush of people saying that I was awesome and the dopamine rush of going after money and like getting the money. That's why it's hard for me to stay quit, is because there are now people coming to me and saying, "Plain Jane, could you please help us out with XYZ?" And I'm like, "Oh, you have a problem for me? My brain likes solving problems. Oh, you think that I'm the right person for this? I like it when people like me. Plus the money. The money is nice. Money and the profit motive. These are some things that I'm really thinking about as I look at potentially exploring this glide path a bit more, having conversations with new people and some former clients about how I could help them out, trying to find that balance of like what's authentic to me versus what am I allowing to have shaped in terms of my own behaviors and my own goals by, people saying that they like me. Work is hard to quit, and that's not just because it gives us money. Work is hard to quit because it gives us so much more. If any of this resonates with you, I'd love a like, a comment. Please subscribe. Brutally honest. And love to see you around again. Thanks. Bye. I've spoken elsewhere about my fear that I've lost my capacity for unstructured play, that I'm so dependent on the scaffolding of work to tell me what is important to be working on, what I should be working on, here's the next thing to do. And this is like another piece of the benefit of work is that you don't have to think too hard. You can just lean back on, this is how success is measured. This is what you should be doing. Somebody else is more than happy to tell you this is the priority. And all of a sudden not having them anymore is very scary, very hard to suddenly get this core strength to. I've been slouching this entire time, and you can tell because I'm